Hey there, this is Ekaterina Howard, a conversion copywriter and strategist working with growing B2B SaaS startups. And in this video, we are swiping a non-overwhelming way to draw your website visitors deeper and deeper into checking out your product. So this is what I'm talking about. In this case, like on the surface level, this is a page that follows all the usual expected flow. So it explains what it does. Even if I'm not reading every word of copy, it helps me see where I'm at. It shows me what it looks like on the back end. To some extent, it shows me that I can also do some pretty fancy things, as well as additional fancy things. Plus, do those cool things as well. So, not a very nothing new here. So examples, use cases, examples again, and social proof, and then finally get started. Now, what is interesting though is that, and actually I don't really see that often, when you look at the demo video, once it pulls up, here we go. All right, so the really cool thing about this intro to Baseten video is that it shows an actual use case. So the sentiment analysis plus walks you through all of the things that are referenced on the page below. So from presenting the results without HTML and CSS, which sounds amazing, to setting it up, to connecting, to making everything work. You can watch the video, right? So first, it references the points that are made below the page. So none of that information is lost. What happens incredibly often with demo videos, they kind of exist in their little happy bubble with the assumption that every website visitor will always for sure watch the video and not get distracted around second 5 or second 6 and actually consume this information, and so it doesn't need to be repeated on the page, which hardly ever happens. So in this case, nothing is lost. All of that is referenced below the page in a way that makes sense. So it's not a transcript, it is sort of, those are the key points. If you watch the intro video, you get a little more in-depth information. So this is good for you. And another thing that I thought was really cool is that not only, assuming you watch the video, not only do you get that, you can also go and check out this exact app thing. Hold on. You can also check it out in the gallery. So it's not mentioned here in one of the 6 use cases, but once you go to the gallery, here it is, sentiment analysis. So you could pull it up, you could play with it, and then presumably you could also start building and taking it one step further. You don't just see what it looks like. You can also view the live demo and see exactly what happens, play with your own input, and check out its score, and even take a look at the dashboard. Though I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do this, but anyway, you can do that. You can play with things. You can go back to the gallery, play around some more. So this is first, it is really integrated both with the homepage, what's on the homepage, and second, it's integrated with what's in the intro video. So in many cases, this does not happen. So I'm really excited to see that this actually is the case. And also, it helps you as a prospect start by playing around with the product. Okay, so you're not getting in the weeds here, but you can see what is possible because you are playing with things in the gallery. And even if you're not convinced, you could still go and find out how other teams are using it and see if that works for you as well. So, takeaways. I will switch back to the homepage because I don't like when things move on my screen and I try to talk. So, takeaways are demo videos and intro videos ideally are integrated with the copy on the page, not necessarily in terms of word for word matching, but ideally in terms of the key points you present, and this is the case here. So I don't know if this is the case, but I have this nagging suspicion that there was a messaging hierarchy and there was a plan for both, because it doesn't feel like it's an afterthought, which is just a happy feeling for me. And then second, whenever you can show the outcome, whenever you can show what happens once somebody deploys the product, do it as soon as possible. Well, on the homepage anyway, not necessarily in the hero section. That would probably require some creative solutions which will not necessarily match your website visitor's stage of awareness. But if you can do it as soon as possible, instead of hiding your product behind a demo form. So these are great examples of how to do that. Support with subpoints, break this down into things that matter to your prospects. And if you can showcase solutions, do that. Show things that are live and interactive and can be played with, because this is how your prospects move out of their scrolling around, clicking on things mode and start interacting with your product, which changes the way they think about it, which makes it much more likely that they will either sign up to continue playing with your product, or at the very least, reach out if they have questions about using it for their specific use cases.